Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Ananda, the Galactic Mystic. Let's talk about the Gemini New Moon opposing the Galactic Center and conjunct our asteroid goddess Juno. There's lots to talk about. So I hope this lighting is okay. I literally cannot with the bright lights in my eyes right now. My nervous system is needing some unwinding. And I bet yours does too, because all of this Gemini energy, a new moon in Gemini, so sun moon, we have Mercury in Gemini, we have our asteroid Juno in Gemini. This is a lot of nervous system expanding energy. Now, we want it to expand, but in order for it to expand, we have to feel those edges of our current capacity. So that's where I'm at. Where are you at? This is a whirlwind. June is kicking my butt. I'm not going to lie. Well, stick a pin in that. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I hope that you enjoy your stay. Every video I do is a little different. I like to change things up according to my own needs and what I feel is my message to deliver. On the full moons, I've been doing longer videos with more detailed readings for each of the zodiac signs. I have not been doing that for new moons, and I'm not going to do that today. But there's still a very important message for all of us to hear. A lot is shifting right now. Pluto has retrograded back into Capricorn. So, of course, that's doing things on the world stage, which are very obvious. And in our own lives, whatever house this is happening in, that house has been holding a lot of our transformation over the past many, many years. And these little sort of Pluto retrograding back into the edges of Capricorn, he's going to go all the way back to 27 degrees of Capricorn, I believe. This is like making sure that all of that work is done. So if you need support in that, come and see me for a Pluto reading, because this is no doubt something that just that alone, not even talking about everything else that is happening, but just that alone is extremely significant. Saturn is stationing retrograde now. Venus is entering her pre-retrograde shadow on June 19th. We have the solstice coming up, and it's just really a lot. And that is in alignment with Gemini energy. In navigational astrology, which is my way, one of the most important things that I help people discover is their own personal relationships with the planets, the stars, the zodiac signs, the houses, how each one of those things feel, how the relationship goes with it. And with Gemini, Gemini he just spent 8 months in, Mars just spent 8 months in Gemini from August of 2022 until March of this year. So if you think back, if you're able to kind of think about that period of time, it was really a wonderful opportunity to connect with our individual relationship with Gemini energy. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because now this new moon, and really the whole month of June, is very, it's a lot like that. It's different, but if you are able to sort of suss out your relationship with Gemini, you will no doubt feel an aspect of that showing up in a different part of your life with a different flavor, but with a clear, undeniable Gemini signature. Gemini is, you can go anywhere for pop astrology and basic stuff about Gemini. So, Gemini is about communicating, how we talk, how we think. But deeper than that, it's about our perception of information. It is about agreements, contracts, and our nervous system. Gemini is not a calm energy. It's very alive. It is a mutable energy, though, so it's always changing, but the purpose of its change is to change our perspective, our perception of things. And that is often an uncomfortable experience. I laugh. So back to just a little bit back to Saturn for a moment, because Saturn stationing retrograde right with this new moon. And what he's going to do, he's going to retrograde back to 0 degrees of Pisces. And this retrograde is nothing to worry about. Saturn spends a lot of his time retrograding. It's an energy we all, we live with a lot of the time, about half of the time. And what he will be doing for us is he will be letting us unwind and unweave anything in his realm that we have maybe put together too hastily, have maybe made agreements that we realize now aren't, we need to adjust them. And so then when he stations direct in November, we will have a second chance at this Saturn in Pisces energy. Now, I wrote an article about Saturn in Pisces. I'll put it in the description box below with, a lot of tips and really what Saturn in Pisces is about. So let's talk about the galactic center for a minute, because this new moon is opposing very tightly the galactic center. And in a way, an opposition with the galactic center is more impactful to our physical world, because an opposition has the Earth, the sun, and then the galactic center over here. So the Earth is in between the sun and the galactic center, receiving this energy directly in the physical realm. So some things to know about the galactic center is that, yes, this is a stream of cosmic wisdom that is always available for all of us. But when there are lunations, full moons, new moons, planets, conjunct or opposing this point, it is often easier to tap into. So something else to know about the galactic center is that there's often a waiting period before we can see the results of what we are receiving from this stream of consciousness, from the center of the galaxy. And that period of time is important to remember because, especially Gemini energy likes things to happen quickly. It's not a very patient energy. It would rather, go crash and burn just to have something happen rather than allowing something to unfold in its natural time. And this is part of the challenge with this, to allow things to unfold, because what feels really urgent is probably not actually urgent. I mean, it might be. That's up for you to decide, but I'm just proposing this. What if we took a moment to assess whether something is truly urgent, or if it is our nervous system, our capacity to hold that energy that wants to be expanded? Not so much that we need to go and, crash and burn or initiate something just to get energy moving. So we do have a very tight square with, so it looks to me like the lighting is like changing colors and stuff. I don't know if that's happening on your end or not, but it's distracting. Not as distracting as a ring light in my face right now would be, though. I just can't. What was I saying? The square with Neptune. A square with Neptune is always like a slap in the face, or like a burst bubble, but I am seeing it as that scene in Moonstruck, the movie Moonstruck, with Cher and Nicolas Cage, when he's like, "I love you," and she's like, "Snap out of it." This is that. This is something like something we need to snap out of, because we are, I know I say this a lot, and the energy is often a lot about this, about what we are doing is bigger than this moment. And in order for that bigger thing to come to be, sometimes things need to be restricted. Sometimes things need to be taken away. And sometimes difficult snap out of it slaps in the face are exactly what we need in order to slip into the stream, or slip onto the path or the timeline or whatever, to get in alignment with that bigger thing that is happening, that waiting period. We have a lot of time to shift around, but the energy is pushing us to slip in a certain way. And I don't mean slip as in slip up. I mean, like slide over into a new gravity stream, a new path. And it can be very subtle now, but later you will look back at this and notice and remember, be like, "Oh my gosh, that slap in the face was exactly what I needed." Because if you don't like what you've been getting, and you don't change how you're approaching it, that's kind of on you, isn't it? If you want something different, you have to do it differently. If you are unhappy about the way your love life is, like, but you keep doing the same things, you're gonna keep getting the same type of relationships or the same type of people coming into your realm. You have to be different in order for something different to come into your life. Let's look at the chart on that note. All right, let's see here. Okay, so here is our Gemini New Moon, June 18th, 2023, 12:36 a.m. So a lot of folks are going to have this happening on the 17th. New moon, sun moon conjunction, 26 degrees and 43 minutes of Gemini. Here we have Juno at 27 degrees of Gemini, tight conjunction. And then we have our very tight square with Neptune and Pisces at 27 degrees. We have Venus and Mars holding court together in Leo And here we have Gemini, our new moon ruler. Also, Gemini, I keep saying that. We have Mercury, our, our new moon ruler in Gemini with everyone else. So let's talk about Juno for a minute. So I made a video a while back about the asteroid Juno through the signs and houses. But in the beginning of that video, I go over her mythology and really what she actually represents, because a lot of times you'll see her sort of glossed over and like called the asteroid of marriage. Like that's all she is. And she, my friends, like everything else, is much deeper and much more complex than that. And you need to know her full story in order to understand what her presence in this new moon means. Because Juno, she's more about commitment than she is about marriage. But she brings up what we are not getting in return in our commitments, because in Juno's marriage with Jupiter, she did not, it was not fulfilling for her. She did not get to consummate. She did not get to express or receive very much in that relationship. She was very committed. So she brings up this friction between like the energies of Libra, the commitment, and the energies of Scorpio, consummation. And that friction, that inherent relationship between them, and then the friction between them, between those energies of being really committed, but not getting the return on it. So that is very much a part of this slap in the face. What is not reciprocal in your life? Who or what is not showing up for you? And what are you not showing up for? You got to look at that too. What are you not putting in the time or energy for, and then being like complaining that it's not the way you would like it to be? We've got to be honest with ourselves, right? And this whole thing with this new moon, with Juno, with Venus retrograde and Venus and Mars sort of being this close to each other for the first time in a long time, it is a lot about romance, but it's not going to be about romance for everyone. It is going to be about agreements and commitment for everyone, though. And that doesn't just mean in romance. We have a lot of things that we are committed to, a lot of relationships in our lives that are not romantic. We have spiritual relationships. We have relationships with non-physical beings. We have relationships with food and sex and death and, nature, the gods, with our own self and all the versions of ourself that we carry within us. So it's not just romantic. It's everything. So the biggest thing to remember is to allow this snap out of it moment, this awakening. It's often uncomfortable because what we thought was one way, we often find is not that way. But it's a gift, and it's a gift, like I said, that matters in the long run. What we do with this information matters in the long run. Something's telling me to look up the Chandra symbol for this degree, so I'm going to do that. Let's see what it says. I haven't looked at it. I don't know what it says. I'll read it to you. We'll hear it for the first time together. Okay, so this is the Chandra symbol, the Inside Degree by Elias Lonsdale. Highly recommend supporting this work by buying the book if you're interested in things like descriptions of the degrees. So this is Gemini 27, because we always go forward. Okay, Gemini 27. Much food stored in a cool cave. Taking your greatest attributes, tucking them away for safekeeping, and going on without them. daring yourself to operate without the huge advantage of knowing everything ahead of time. I just said that. And dropping down into the position of moving by primal instincts, slipping into that stream. Each moment naked and following the live track of what arises. Turning yourself into a wide open, vastly impressionable, fluent, and flexible frontline participant, but keeping on ice the most astounding array of greater gifts, the ones that are too much for this world now. That's about that incubation period, the waiting time. Keep it on ice. Know that it's coming. And being quite inwardly assured that sooner or later you can and will draw upon and tap into the greater frequencies of awareness in order to take the path even further along than spontaneously presence. No, then let me back up. And being quite inwardly assured that sooner or later you can and will draw upon and tap into the greater frequencies of awareness in order to take the path even further along than spontaneous presence could begin to imagine. So this is absolutely confirming that this degree holds this energy of not giving away. Let me rephrase this. Reciprocity in what we give and receive, that commitment, consummation, Juno energy, daring to not know everything ahead of time, to drop into our instincts, to take each moment naked, following what is alive in the moment, which means we have to bring in, this means not overthinking, because if we are committed to meeting each moment or meeting what is alive in each moment, there's no room for overthinking. Overthinking is always in the past or in the future. It's never present. And Gemini gets that going in a lot of us, being either future or past oriented, or, getting those gears spinning everywhere except right here and now. And then putting on ice what we know is not for this moment. Oh, goodness. Well, my friends, how are you feeling this? Let me know in the comments or send me a message, private message. I always like those. Happy new moon in Gemini. I hope it serves you very well. And I will see you for the full moon, for readings for all the signs. And I may do that one live so we can hang out. But we'll see. Not committing to that totally yet. Depends on my schedule. I'm a busy gal. All right. Much love to you. Happy new moon. I'll see you soon.